Yet this does an amazing job of expressing a budding love that includes self-realization, self-acceptance, and a little bit of smut. Hi! Welcome back to my channel! Today, we'll be discussing Delivery for You by Teku Rin, and this review is thanks in part to those of you who took part in my poll. This was the second choice in the poll, Deliveryman and Hikikomori. And if you'd like to check out the winner, you can watch it by clicking the annotation or the link in the description. If you'd like to help decide what gets reviewed next, go ahead and subscribe, get your BL Library card for the BL Library, and be on the lookout for my community posts with the polls. Before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled in this manga, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. For those of you who decide to stick around, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to mental illness, self-deprecation, gaming addiction, commentary on body shape, possible prejudice against sex work, and slut-shaming as these things do appear in the manga. But if that's good with you, let's go and get started. Fukaya is a shut-in. When he's not working at the local laundromat, he spends his days playing games or ordering hero figurines on the computer. The only exception to this rule is when he gets delivery. Then he rushes down, ready to bask in the coolness of his delivery man, Ryota Tsuchiya. Tsuchiya is the optimal man, and Fukaya loves the brief moments in which he gets to lay his eyes on his cool manliness. But as he sees Tsuchiya over and over again, Fukaya begins to see the flaws within himself. In an effort to better himself, Fukaya tries going on a run, but only a few kilometers later, he's panting and shaking, unable to go on. He's feeling awful about himself, regretting ever trying something new like this. And whether by a cruel joke of fate or something else, Fukaya ends up being found and helped by none other than Tsuchiya. Fukaya is once again entranced. Are these feelings because Fukaya wants to become more like Tsuchiya, or does he just want Tsuchiya? To start with, the art in this is rough. It's very sketchy and equally inconsistent, but there are some super cute moments. Fukaya unfortunately gets the short end of the stick a majority of the time. He has one or two cute panels, otherwise he looks really inconsistent and bad. On the other hand, Tsuchiya is very attractive. He looks pretty inconsistent a lot of the time too, but when compared to Fukaya, he's the winner in the art style. Plus, he has some of the cutest reactions ever. Bad art aside, the story is surprisingly deep for how short it is. This title actually shares some of its pages with another unrelated extra short story, which makes the lead title even shorter than usual. Yet this does an amazing job of expressing a budding love that includes self-realization, self-acceptance, and a little bit of smut. I was super impressed by how much the main story packs in such a short length. It, of course, isn't the most realistic relationship development, with our main characters going from near strangers to lovers over the course of a few awkward interactions, but it's a one-shot. If you come in expecting realistic romantic development, your expectations are too high. But you're in the right place if you come in looking for some lighthearted humor and a fluffy story. I'm pretty picky when it comes to my humor. I find that things that are often categorized as comedies end up being sweet but not funny. And even if it does try to be funny, it just isn't. This isn't one of those laugh out loud comedies, but it is quite funny. I'm a sucker for the awkward otaku humor, which Fukaya perfectly embodies. Even Tsuchiya has some funnies with his airheaded beefcake and golden retriever top self. With so much BL leaning on the darker, crueler side of things, this was a breath of fresh air. But just because it's sweet and lighthearted, doesn't mean it doesn't delve into some painful topics. While Fukaya struggles with how he might be perceived in the world as someone who's reclusive and enjoys what most people would consider nerdy hobbies, our hero Tsuchiya has problems he's dealing with too. As a man's man, certain expectations have been levied towards Tsuchiya. When he doesn't meet those expectations, people leave him, leaving him feeling like he's a disappointment. It's because he knows how it feels to have those expectations and assumptions pointed toward him that he doesn't have those same expectations toward Fukaya. And that's how they end up together. It's such a sweet way they come together and learn to accept themselves. I love it. With all that being said, I actually really love this. It's not perfect by any means, but it gets a ton of heart and sweetness in such a short story. I could take or leave the extra story as it feels much more hollow in comparison to the title work. I wouldn't call this a fave, mainly because it isn't as deep or as smutty as I would like, but it's pretty high up there. For as short as it is, the story of an introvert and an extrovert meeting, falling in love, and even coming to terms with their fears and insecurities is very successfully told. And we get a separate extra story thrown in. The main story is a wonderful example of storytelling, and I highly recommend it. So have you read Delivery for You? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know in the comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!